Okay. Sexy Daddy's Basement, Part 1. In the darkest, deepest, dampest basement, he waits for me, with dark red eyes and blood-red teeth. I slowly walk down the steps and the feel of the icy cold cement sends chills onto my bare feet. Then I get chills down my spine as I enter the candlelit room. He's standing there, not quite human, more like a porcelain statue. As he steps towards me, he brushes against the chains and they rattle, tracing my body with his sharpened fingertips. I want him to kiss my lips. Excitement fills me when he reaches my neck. I'm almost close, but he whispers to me, not yet. And that's part 1.
That's part 1. Right, okay. You're taking us somewhere. I'm going somewhere.
I'm there. I see it.
We're going into the basement.
We're going into the basement. Okay.
Alright, what up, you guys? I'm Bryson Smith.
And I'm Javin, and this is Who Cares?
Okay, so we have a special guest. I've been wanting to do this for a while. She goes by the name. I'll let her introduce herself.
Oh. Hi, my name is Lorraine, but I also go by Kawaii Corpse on Instagram.
Right. And the reason why I wanted to do this episode so badly is because we're going to be talking about cosplaying and poetry. She does poetry, which I'll let her talk about in just a moment. Actually, you want to go over this to the audience real quick?
Yes. This is a poetry group I'm a part of. We just released a zine. Well, not me. The group did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to take credit for that. But this issue is number 3, and it's based around the theme Chaos and Order. And they release a zine every so often. Last one was based off of Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
And this one, it's, there's a lot of chaos and order in the world. So there's a lot of different poems in here. It's really good.
What's it called?
Riders on the Block.
Riders on the Block. Okay.
And it's a Redlands town-based poetry group, but you don't have to be from there to join the group. It's online on Facebook.
Okay.
And they have an Instagram as well. And they also do prompts.
Right.
Oh, let me grab this. They also do like everyday prompts on their Facebook page. Mood Monday, Tunes Tuesday, Haiku Wednesday, Ekpharisist Thursday.
Ekphrasis?
Ekphrasis, yes. And Freaky Friday. So there's, like, if you're not feeling like doing the whole live poetry thing, they do a live poetry event every bi-weekly. Mm-hmm. You can always write in the prompts, or you can just post your poetry to the group, and if you'd like, you could possibly make it into the zine. It's really cool. It's a very nice community. It's not too big yet, but we're
a work in progress.
Yes.
Yeah. I got you. So on the topic of poetry, there is a poem that I want you to read to us and the world. Would you mind doing that for us, Lorraine?
No, I don't mind. Everybody seems to be very intrigued by this poem.
It's a good one.
It's a great one.
It's very catchy name. And it was featured in the zine.
Oh, dope.
It was featured in the zine.
Yes.
And it is called Sexy Daddy's Basement.
Sexy Daddy's Basement.
Yes, it's a 5-part series.
Okay.
5. That's amazing.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
That's 5.
Part 4 and 5 are still in progress, but 1 through 3 are done. But I only have 1 and 2 here. So
I have a question. Is there some sort of link or something I could put in the description for everyone to go to yet? Or do they have like a website?
Yeah, they have a website, and then you can actually see me performing Sexy Daddy's Basement in the lives.
All right, dope.
Awesome.
Let's hear the Sexy Daddy's Basement.
Okay, let me get it ready for you guys.
All right, I want to hear this.
Got to get this ambience up.
Okay.
Do we have like a drum roll? We don't have a drum roll for our...
Oh, that's one of the... well, we have applause. All right,
here we go.
Lovely. Okay, Sexy Daddy's Basement, Part 1. In the darkest, deepest, dampest basement, he waits for me, with dark red eyes and blood-red teeth. I slowly walk down the steps and the feel of the icy cold cement sends chills onto my bare feet. Then I get chills down my spine as I enter the candlelit room. He's standing there, not quite human, more like a porcelain statue. As he steps towards me, he brushes against the chains and they rattle, tracing my body with his sharpened fingertips. I want him to kiss my lips. Excitement fills me when he reaches my neck. I'm almost close, but he whispers to me, not yet. And that's part 1.
That's part 1.
All right, okay. You're taking us somewhere. I'm going somewhere.
I'm there. I see it.
We're going into the basement.
We're going into the basement. Okay.
So part 2.
Let's hear it.
Glancing around, there are no windows, though that's how he likes it. Sunlight burns his whole being, so he must hide from it. A slight constant feeling of fear remains in the back of my mind. Even so, he's beautiful, mesmerizing, gorgeous, and simply divine. My primal instincts fight against my heart to move in closer, knowing full well one quick bite, and for me it could all be over. Garnet eyes meet my plain hazel ones, and for what feels like forever we stare each other down, and who knows what's to come. It's the excitement and exhilaration that drives me back down to Sexy Daddy's basement. And that's
I
part
like
two.
that.
Yeah.
I like the part with the eyes meeting, like garnet eyes meeting your hazel ones. I like that.
Yeah.
Are those only? So you don't have part 3 yet?
Part 3 I have on my phone.
Oh, let's hear it. Can we?
Okay.
Can we-
This is exclusive content.
This is, yeah,
people.
exclusive,
time
right? It's
released into the public.
to the universe.
And then I'm not sure where I'm gonna go with part 4 and 5, but
Okay.
it's gonna go somewhere.
Well, we can
sexy.
talk about that. That's what we're here for.
We could talk about that.
Okay, this is part 3.
Okay.
He doesn't talk much about his past life, his family, his prey. The mysteriousness of his aura draws me towards him, and I just don't know how to pull away. We met in the darkness in a dim-lit street. People filtered in and out of bars, and that's where he appeared, as of out of nowhere, and struck up a conversation with me, asking why I was standing there staring at my feet. He was tall and pale, with luscious blonde hair and pointed white teeth. Somehow, in a daze, I was mesmerized, drawn in by his darkness. We drove fast in the night towards his house while he caressed my thighs. Down to the basement and onto the bed, he kissed my lips and then bit my neck. Adrenaline filled my body and fear filled my head, but that first night is one that I'll never, ever forget.
That's
So
beautiful.
You must have had a good night, then, huh? Great night.
True story. This happened in real life.
I wish. Still looking for Sexy Daddy.
Right,
that's
of course,
cute.
yeah. So shout out to Sexy Daddy if you're out there,
Another future sexy daddy for you.
Yeah, wherever you are.
wherever you are.
But-
You have to have garnet eyes, no exception. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
You have to be real.
Yeah, that's the number 1 criteria. What compelled you to write this? Like, what was the inspiration?
I know. Honestly, I'm interested in knowing that as well.
It's actually a pretty funny story. Me and my friends, we go out to the mountains a lot, and we go hike around, and it was just a beautiful day, beautiful scenery. I was looking at the trees, and then my friends were in the front seats talking about Twilight, and I was just like, what about Carlisle? Like, everybody just kind of glanced over the dad, and I was like, what if he just gets tired of his family, and he's just like, and my friend's like, why would he get tired of his family?
That's funny as hell to me. This thought process.
And then I was just like, he's been with them for years. Like, just get rid of those damn teenage kids always messing up his stuff, causing drama. Leave the wife, and then go like buy his own house and build a sexy basement. And then my friend was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "You wouldn't like that?" And she's like, "I don't know." And then she's actually my muse. She's the girl, not me.
So you've got inspired by nature and by Twilight to write this poem?
Yes. Nature and Twilight.
That's cool.
The perfect combo.
Were you high?
Possibly.
The best art comes from people when they're high.
Right.
The Beatles.
It's a great example.
So, how often do you write poetry in general?
I try to write as often as I can. I do have other hobbies, so it's hard to. There's just not enough time to like do as much as I would like. I have written a poem just the other day. I just have to feel inspired by something, and then the phone makes it a lot easier because I can speak into the phone and it'll
Right.
write it down, and then I'll fix it up later. And like, so I've written a couple poems like that, but Sexy Daddy is just like off the top of my head. I have to be in
okay.
the moment.
Right.
That's why finishing it has been a little hard. I'm like thinking which direction I want to go.
Aside from Twilight and nature, what usually motivates you? Or is it normally
just
just,
like
off
lore.
the top? Just,
Like I like
stories.
mermaids.
Oh, okay.
I like the like Odin and like
The
like
Norse mythology.
right,
yeah.
right.
So I'm just inspired by a lot of different things. Like, of course, nature inspires me a lot. Like, I'm just like mystified by the beauty of the earth,
Does cosplay ever inspire you to write?
Oh yes, of course.
That has a huge inspiration on you?
Awesome.
Yeah, but I've never written a poem like strictly about cosplay. Like, like
That would be dope if you did, though.
yeah, I can. I mean, that's the great thing about poetry is you can write about anything you want. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to be restricted to like, just one thing. I could feel like a mermaid one day, or I could feel like sexy daddy the next.
There you go. Question.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing cosplay? By the way, you guys should check out her page. I'll have her Instagram in the description.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
I believe I started in 2011. 2012.
Oh yeah. I think you told me that before.
So I just haven't really like I have gone through a couple Instagrams due to certain circumstances, but that's my main page now, and then it's my other fun hobby too.
Okay. Have you seen a certain level of change in the cosplay world since then to now to present day?
Definitely.
Yeah. Like what?
Like when I first started, it's just all around. It's kind of hard to like. I don't want to dance around it, but there is like. It's more of like competition vibes, Like,
oh yeah, crazy competitive. I bet.
Like and in the beginning it was just more for fun. Like that's why I don't try to take it too seriously. Like I've never really tried to like push my personal page out there. Like like I don't want to get too big, and then people expect things of me to where it turns into a job, and then I have to cosplay what other people want because. There's characters that I cosplay sometimes, and I'll go to a convention and like 2 people will walk up to me and that's it, and that's fine, as long as someone knew the anime.
Right.
But it's a big hype now. A lot of people are into it, and then like I've noticed, I don't want to call people out, but I've noticed some people you'll walk up to them and you'll ask them, "Oh, like, man, I love that show or that game." And they're like, "Oh, I'm just dressing like this because like this is like." That outfit of the time, and there's nothing wrong with that either, like it's just like you're just like, oh wow. It is a big change because back in the day like people would walk up to you, or it is still a lot of like positivity in it, and that's why I do it, but there is also a bit of a dark side to it now, which I don't
like as much.
It's because of the competitive nature, I bet. I mean, people are making a lot of money off this.
Yeah, and good for them,
Right.
Make your money. I'm not against that, but I've seen it where like one girl had like a bunch of followers and she got into an argument with another girl that didn't have as many, and then all of her followers attacked the other girl, and
that's when it gets toxic.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, I don't like that. I don't want to start any of that, like, and I don't want to be part of any of that. So I stay away from like the kind of like drama stuff.
Okay.
Usually.
Yeah.
So as far as cosplay really goes, you're in it more so just for the fun of it, the appreciation for cosplay and animes in general, right?
Yeah, and I do a lot of like casual looks now too, to like show I'm not so serious about it. I do enjoy it. I love the shows. I love anime. I've watched over like 2,000 anime. I can't even like remember. I need a list for it online.
I'm the same way.
But I don't want to partake in the. I don't want to be part of the toxicity.
The toxic behavior. Yeah. I got you. That's understandable.
Yeah, because there's like toxic stuff in like anything. If you think about it, there's a good and bad in everything, and
yin and yang.
Yeah.
It's. I'm just trying to stay towards more of the positive. So.
If there was one thing you could say to the cosplay fandom, what would that be?
Just don't get discouraged if you see a lot of like. I often get discouraged when I go on like Instagram or like other websites and I see people, I'm like, wow, I don't feel as good, or like never try to compare yourself to somebody else because we're all individuals and we all have different aspects that make us unique and beautiful and creative. And I don't think you should see someone else and try to do what they're doing. Maybe if you get inspired by them, that's great. But if you're feeling something like negative, like, oh man, I'll never look like that, like you should take a second to like get offline and go look at yourself and see what you love about yourself, like, and then come back with a more positive attitude and like never try to compare yourself to somebody else, or like never try to like, it's not what it's about.
I got you.
Just be you.
I have to press this button now because that was the
statement.
There you go.
Oh,
be yourself.
Love that little effect.
Yeah, I know, right? I'll do it again just for you.
That's great.
Did you have any questions for her, Job?
Oh, for sure. Do you think toxicity is just like intrinsic to the cosplay community, or do you think there's a lot of areas that that you can, like, do you know personally areas of cosplay you can go to that aren't toxic?
Can I say something real quick before you answer that? Because we did a video on
Toxic fan
toxic.
bases.
Yeah,
we
like
did.
all right, I'll let you answer that first, and then I just want to, because
Okay.
my brain is just like.
So wait, what was your question again?
Oh, just do you think that toxicity is like inherent to the cosplay community? Do you think you'll find it wherever you go and you should just push through that? Or do you think there are a lot of areas in cosplay that aren't as toxic that people can go to if they feel overwhelmed by that whole situation?
You know, I think that they could develop more, like, kind of like there could be more done to make it feel less toxic. There could be like people talking about it and like bringing it up. I haven't really personally like gone out and looked for those kind of things, so I don't know if they have that, but yeah, it just depends. There's a lot of areas, and then where it turns into like a lot of things that revolve around it is like back in the day when I started, there was no Patreon, there was no OnlyFans, there was no real way to make money. There was only 2 big cosplayers who are still big to this day, and like, you know, they worked really hard. Actually, I'm not gonna like, and they're still the biggest in the game for a reason, because they, you know, they're their own seamstresses. They make their own costumes and stuff.
That's
and
dope.
Like, but now a lot of people, I think since the money got involved, a lot of people get a little worked up about it. Like I've heard a lot of guys talk about like, oh, I hope you don't make a Patreon and become one of those girls. And I'm like, who are those girls? Like what does that mean? Like, you know, maybe they're trying to feed their family. Maybe they're trying to put a roof over their head. You know, maybe we shouldn't think about it and like, how dare they try to live an easier life, you know, because cosplay, it is a lot of work as well. Like,
I bet.
it's an art form, I believe, and I appreciate it a lot. So when people come to me saying things like, oh, I hope you don't do that, I kind of get a little like, well, who are you to tell me, and who are you to put down these like people and these artists, you know? So that's just one of the top toxic things I could think of off the top of my head that I wish like those things weren't so put down. Like if someone wants to make a Patreon or someone's going through a hard time, they should be able to announce that, you know, like if we're a community of cosplayers, we should be able to speak on what's going on with ourselves. And like, you know, like there was one convention where this guy blew up this girl's car. And
Are you serious?
yeah, like
Really?
they caught it on camera. It was Anime LA like 2 years ago.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID days, and like they got it all on video. He tried to like light a cigarette and throw it on someone's car. It's ridiculous, and it was really sad. He ruined this girl's car, ruined 6 other cars, and like luckily the community came together. That was a good point. And then like they all like made GoFundMes and helped get people new cars. So that's a nice, like, you know, I don't want to just end it with toxicity, you know.
Okay,
for sure.
that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
There's a good and bad side, you know, like, but we could definitely come together more and like be like more advocate on mental health and like, you know, I think that's like a big deal that maybe should be brought up later on.
No, for sure. Well, kind of going back to poetry, do you think poetry is a really good way to deal with mental health? Do you think that's helped you with your mental health?
Yes.
question.
Actually, I have strayed a bit away from cosplay for a bit because I have like an anonymous thing hooked up to my account, and I get a little bit of like, it's not even like questions. It's just kind of like, just trying to degrade me or something.
Yeah, just like judgment.
Trying to like put me down, and I'm like, this wasn't even a question. And
Wait,
like,
you said someone was trying to degrade you on your...
like just kind of calling me like fat or like something, just dumb stuff, like just trying to get to me. But like I was just like, I gotta get away from this. So when I feel like overwhelmed with like the cosplay stuff, or I feel like, oh man, I'm not really feeling it, you know, it's not in my heart right now, but I still love it. I'll go to poetry, I'll write some stuff, and it's a nice release for me. I feel like it's a good way to express myself. And I can't do it through cosplay.
So you've got kind of... Oh, no.
I just wanted to say, I wanted to talk directly to the cosplay fandom, like, and the toxic behavior, because I don't do cosplay, but I mean, I appreciate it, and I do see it as an art form, and I would hope that you guys would do better and not be so toxic to your cosplayers. That's just what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
'Cause that sucks. That really sucks.
Being an asshole in general is just kind of unattractive, and
yeah, it is.
Kind of,
Like the fact that someone was telling you that and that kind of strayed you away from it, and it's something you enjoy doing. That's lame to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Art's art, right? Like you should be allowed to express yourself.
Yeah, and like I understand I'm not doing the same thing as everybody else. Like, and nobody's actually really doing the same thing. Like everybody, like you know, sometimes people will try to be like, oh, like this is I did this costume first, so like anybody who did it after me is like, you know, just copying or something. I hate that mentality too, because like when someone creates a character, I believe they create it like, you know, in an anime, they create it for you to feel inspired. They don't want you to just take hold of it, because you can't take hold of a person. And if you think about it that way, like you're trying to control this whole like character, it's not like, just for you, it's for everybody. It's for like all of us to enjoy, and we can all enjoy it, you know. And I think, I don't know, it's just there's a little bit of ridiculousness mixed in with the cosplay scene now, but you know, hopefully it'll calm down. I don't know.
Is that where you see it going? Like, what do you think the future of cosplay is?
That's a good question.
With COVID right now, a lot of cons are closed, so
Everything is.
It's like I saw for a while the Patreon stuff was booming. Like girls were making OnlyFans, and like, you know, which I understand. You know, people lost their jobs. People have bills to pay. You know, so I'm like, if you had your costumes and you had a way to make money, you do that. You know, like. But like what I didn't like was you'd see like, oh, all these people making OnlyFans now. Like, well, what do you want people to do? Like, I don't you know, there's a good and bad to everything, and it's just hopefully when everything opens up again, most of the cons won't be out of commission, and then like, because that's another thing that people look forward to too, is like,
I definitely did.
Like human connection. I also see it in the poetry group, because we do or I don't want to say they, because I'm just part of their group, but I'm not like an admin. But they do like the live every bi-weekly, but I think they're doing it down to once a month now. But they used to do it at like live at a bar. Like we'd meet at a bar downtown, and then you go up and speak. And a lot of people like that, but a lot of people like this new thing, you know? So I hope they keep the new thing going as well as the bar, because I'm not really good at speaking in front of a bunch of people at a bar.
Right, I got you. Unless you have a few drinks in you, right?
Right.
Maybe. I'd probably even slur my words if I was.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's beautiful. How many poems would you say you've written in your lifetime?
I don't know. Probably not as many as I thought I have. Probably only like 20, 25.
20?
Okay. Yeah, I've barely gotten into the poetry thing last year.
Oh, no
okay,
way.
so relatively recent.
Yeah. Like my friend inspired me to do it. She's one of the admins. Her name is Jamie.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, she actually did the cover art for this, so it's really neat. And then I got like my little crayon drawing in the back.
That's
but
dope.
I've always been into like drawing and painting and stuff since a really young age. And then like I saw her doing this, and I was like, should I give it a shot? And she was very positive about it, and I was like, might as well, I'll try it out. And it's a cool new hobby, you know. I didn't think I'd be good at poetry. I still think there's room to grow. Like I'll read.
Right.
There's one guy in the group that's really, we call him Sexy Daddy. We joke. and he's you could tell he's been doing poetry for a while, because he's on point when he does his poetry. Like, it's very great.
You're pretty good yourself though. Like the poem that you read to us earlier, I really appreciate that one. I thought it was full of just entertainment, and just like it keeps you listening. You're like, Sexy Daddy's Basement.
I need to listen to this.
I need to hear this.
And I'm there too. Like when you read through it, I'm like, you're bringing me to that place. You're bringing me to that basement.
I was feeling like I was Sexy Daddy in the basement. That's how I was feeling.
I want it to be like, so you could picture yourself as the I don't want to say heroine, because I don't want to put like a man or a woman on it. I want it to be for everybody. Like I want it to be like you in the basement.
Spoken like a true artist.
And like I want it to be relatable to a lot of people who are into that. Not people who aren't into that. I'm not trying to get you in a basement. You know, but
I was visualizing it in my mind's eye though. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, it's funny because someone told me there's not a lot of basements in California, so I was like, oh darn it.
I never really thought about that. Maybe you're right though.
Yeah, so Sexy Daddy's probably somewhere in like Massachusetts or something.
Random ass Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, the basement capital of the world.
Hopefully, maybe not. I could be wrong.
So, yeah, that's a really good poem. I really like that poem. I'm glad you feel that you have a medium in which you can express yourself effectively
Definitely.
in different mediums, even.
Because mental health is a really big thing, and I know like earlier in a few of our earlier episodes, I've been mentioning it, and I want to continue to mention it more. But for whatever reason, it's just been slipping my mind. But if you know about something that can help you with your mental problems, definitely you should be doing that.
Yeah. I can't say it, but that's
Does that wrap it up? Is that? Oh, that was a statement, huh? Yeah, it was a
Statement.
statement.
yeah, it does just about wrap it up. If you want to hear more of her poetry, like, definitely, we want to hear more of your poetry. I guess that's
more
what
of
I'm
my
saying.
poetry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
We'll have links in the
Constantly.
description, and if you've liked what you've seen, you should definitely like and subscribe. And question of the day: would you like to see Lorraine on the podcast again? Because I definitely would.
I do.
I can always come back with part 4 and part 5.
Oh yes, we'll have her
Please
back
do.
on. We will. She'll
Yes.
be a regular because we need regulars, and we will finish that poem and hear many more.
Yeah, and Bryson might even have a poem of his own. We
I
don't know.
might, I might
Maybe.
even have a poem of my own.
Should
Come back. You should, Bryson.
join Writers on the Block.
Yes.
Maybe.
You too,
And if
Jetta.
you want to, you should, check it out. It's really cool, and I will. I probably will.
Okay.
I write poetry too, but I'm not going to share it today. It's not as good as Sexy Daddy's Basement.
We don't compare poems there.
That's fair.
That's a good thing that they do every time. It's like no criticism unless asked for, and
Okay.
and
no complaints.
I appreciate that. That's
It's just a free, safe space. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
That's
Well,
cool.
definitely subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.